Hello friends and welcome to the Saitama Stacker channel. My name's Dean. If you're watching my videos for the first time, please know I only make them for entertainment, education, and community building around the Saitama token. So please do your own research before deciding whether or not Saitama is right for you in your portfolio. If I'm looking extra smiley, it isn't because of the facts on the ground around Saitama and Saitamask. It's because this is the fourth time I've started and I just seem to be tongue-tied. If I were to do outtakes, I don't know that it would actually be that entertaining, but it's a little frustrating on my side to the point where I just start thinking, why can't I get it straight? Let's take a look at what's going on with Saitama. We'll talk Saitamask and reflections today. So in the last 24 hours, Saitama is down about 5.8%, which is actually back up a little bit from where we were earlier in the day. If we were to look at the fundamentals for Saitama for the last 24 hours, our holder count is continuing to be slow on the increase. 313,913. That's an increase of 424 over yesterday. And if we were to scroll back just a little bit here, you'd see since the launch of Saitamask and the inability for many people to create an account, open it, and use it, we've kind of seen our holder count slow in terms of its increase. Okay, it's still increasing, but it has slowed down a little bit since the launch and the subsequent missteps, the bot attacks, the inability for people to get their hands on it, quite frankly. So our market cap today is just under 2 billion, 1.915 billion, which would rank us number 75 in the CoinGecko rankings for all cryptocurrencies by market cap. The price of Saitama currently, 7043, pulled back a little bit from yesterday, and following the trend of the holder count, the volume is also down. Now, I'm going to look at this and kind of go back up in the list and see where the last time was that we saw this kind of volume and show you what happened in the aftermath. But what we can say, well, I'll hold that thought, okay, about what we can infer potentially about what's going on here. So the burn is currently at 56.15%. The volume against the current price would suggest it would take 174 days to burn 1%, or 2.1% burned annually at the current volume and price. The 10-day average would suggest we would be burning about 4.8%, and the total tokens burned 1.7 trillion. Okay, in the last 24 hours, 1.7 trillion. So the burn and the reflections will both be down in the last 24 hours just due to the lower volume. So let's look at the last time we saw volume of 12 million. So let's go ahead and just scroll up the spreadsheet here a little bit and look at the last time we had volume around 12 million. Now it occurs in a couple of places here, and there was a stretch between Christmas and New Year's, but just before Christmas, you can see the volume creeping down. It gets to about 12.5 million and pops up to 32 million the next day. Now what happened that particular day right there was December the 25th, or Christmas Day, and that was the day that we learned that the CertiK audit was complete. So there was some excitement there. Then you see the volume dwindling down a little bit, and at a certain point here, it gets 10, 12 million, and we get a big pump back to 69 million. And that was sustained for quite a little while there. Well, what was that? That was the announcement that Saitamask would drop on the 8th. So there was a renewed excitement there. Then that maintains itself for a few days, and we get the actual launch of Saitamask right here, January 8th. I'm going to put a highlight on that so we can pull it across and see where we're at. So that was a big day. A lot of people transacting on the excitement of Saitamask coming. We all know that there have been some issues with the launch of Saitamask for bot attacks and just getting everything, quite frankly, fully functioning with the new app. And since that day, we've just seen the volume coming down. But we're back down into this 12 million range. And I can tell you, when you're dealing with investments, now, this isn't any kind of a guarantee of anything, right? But it's generally when you're starting to feel at your darkest hour that people get so much fear that that's where they want to sell, that the sunrise is right around the corner where things will flip and go the other way. Now, I've been pretty interested in seeing where the sentiments are in the community, and I went in and I read a bunch of comments on a Twitter space that Russell did. So here is the actual, invite. Of course, it's closed and it doesn't appear to have been recorded, but that was today, 2 hours ago. Today is January the 13th. Right now, it's about 11 o'clock my time. So around 8 p.m. Pacific, they had a Twitter space. There's 100 comments. I can tell you they're not glowing reviews, okay? Many people seem to be feeling a sentiment of disappointment that's growing deeper and deeper. Now, I completely acknowledge, generally speaking, people when they're frustrated are much more willing to comment than people when they're happy, right? So that's why you might look at reviews on a restaurant and you think it's a perfectly nice restaurant, but the reviews on it, there's, half a dozen reviews and they're all negative. Well, it's just because our human tendency is to be more willing to make a comment when we're frustrated than when we're ecstatic about something. Or we really have to be wowed to drop a comment that's positive, and it doesn't take much of an annoyance to give us negative. But it's hard to blame people for feeling scared, for feeling afraid, for feeling frustrated. Now we are almost, a full 5 days post the launch of Saitamask, and to try to get, again, a closer sentiment of what's going on, I posted my own poll on Twitter. And so far I have 124 votes. That's in about an hour. But I can tell you these numbers seem to be pretty stable here since about 60 votes, which is that about 20% of the people, I'm rounding up 18 and a half, but 20% of the people are saying that Saitamask is working for them, and 80% are saying that it's not working for them. There's two ways to look at this. Okay, we can be disappointed that it's not working. It's still not working for me. I'm still getting network connection error. Though in the Apple App Store, I do see that the version 1.5, which is supposed to have the fixes for the bugs and for the security, that's there. But it's still not working for me at this point. And there was some discussion in some of these boards that it was going to roll out by regions. Maybe it's not reached my region yet, but it looks like I'm going to have to wait. On the encouraging side of this, if 20% of the people have this and it's working, then it's just a matter of time, okay? People, you do see some comments that just seem honestly a little bit silly, or they're very angry, where they're saying, okay, the app is bogus, it's a scam, it's prepping for a rug pull, those kinds of comments. If 20% of the community is able to get this, and I'll keep watching, this is very early in the poll, I've got it set up for 24 hours. If you want to weigh in, please do. I want to get an accurate depiction of what's going on with the app, okay? I'm trying to take the emotion out of it. Emotion drives us to make irrational decisions, which is why I rely on the math and on the numbers. It's why I'm trying to follow the trends of what's going on with the coin, because I want to make objective decisions as much as possible. And it's difficult right now. The objectiveness of this is difficult. In the last 7 days, the price of Saitama is down 41%. If you're holding for 2 weeks, we're down about 7%, that's pretty palatable for most people. And if you're in it for 30 days, you're actually at a positive 11%. So we're going to just keep watching this. We're going to try to stay objective. We're going to watch the numbers. We're going to watch what the development team does, and keep, for me, hanging in there and wait to get the app. I believe it's going to get done. The 20% of people telling us that they have it and that it's working for them tells us that it's just a matter of time, in my opinion. So I'm going to leave it for there right now. I don't have much else to say. I'll have a lot more to say when I have a functioning app and we can share our experiences with that, talk about its functionality, and we'll hopefully be able to do that very soon. I'm going to take a quick peek at reflections. I noted because the volume is down, the reflections are down. So in the last 24 hours, I've received 17,473,000 in reflections, free Saitama tokens for being a holder, which brings my total to 2.877 billion since November 21st. So a little bit of good news, even on a down day. You know, that's one thing I like about the reflections is every day there's a little bit of good news in that I'm not putting more money in, but my token count is increasing due to the reflections. So if you're interested in learning more about that, SaitamaToken.com. This is the official Saitama website. Just so everybody knows, it has nothing to do with me. I'm not part of the Saitama development team. I just like the token. I like the project, and I really believe it has potential to do well. So I'm covering it, but also I'm trying to lead discussions on it so that hopefully as a community, we can become stronger and build a bigger community and see that the token does succeed. Folks, I hope you're having an amazing day. Hang in there. Hopefully tomorrow is the big day for the rest of us who are part of the 80%. We will get our chance to get our hands on it and see how it goes. Please, you guys, have a great night. Be kind to each other. Check back with me soon. We'll watch our Saitama stacks grow together.